Hi everyone, Lee here again with another fun craft project that turns a discarded water bottle into a unique piece of art. But before we begin, let's take a look at our materials. For this project, I'm going to be using some aluminum foil. I tend to buy the cheap stuff when I'm crafting and have it on hand. A discarded water bottle, rinsed out. A pile of tissues. You might want to just keep the whole box handy. I use a lot for this project. Some red tissue paper if you have it on hand. Some shredded pieces of newspaper. Some paper towels. Paper mache paste. You can use your own recipe. Mine's mainly glue and water. Some paints of your choice. I prefer apple barrel. A sturdy case cutter. Some sharp scissors. Some paint brushes. A hot glue gun. And some cardboard. A flat piece like this. Mine came off an instant oatmeal package that I had laying around. And paper clay. You can find all kinds of recipes for this online. It's fun and inexpensive to make. Alright, let's get started. Now first I'm going to cut the water bottle in half. Then I'm going to take the bottom half and trim off two pieces. One is going to be about 2/3 the size of the other. And I'm going to have them come to a slight point. Those will form the jaws of our shark. Next, you shred up some tissue paper and begin painting it onto the top half of the bottle. And you just layer on some paper mache paste, lay a piece of tissue paper above it, and then coat more paste above that. You just keep repeating that process until you have a nice layer covering the whole bottle. And once that's done, you're going to want to take some tin foil and roll it up just like that. Then kind of bend it around and slide it into the opening of the bottle. Now what you're going to do here is kind of work it around to form a shape that's going to be the back fins. And you don't need to get it perfect, just kind of get it in place, and then take a piece of tissue paper, soak it, and push it right down into the opening of the cap, and that'll kind of secure the tin foil in place. Then go over that with some tissue paper or some tissues and just kind of glue that down, and again from over the top to secure it all into place. And after that you're going to start carefully wrapping tissues around the shape that you've made. Just one strip at a time. And again, you're going to keep doing that till you get something that resembles a fish fin. You don't want to go too heavy with it because you don't want it to bend out of shape. And at this point, I'm just going to smooth everything out, kind of nudge it around so I like the shape a little bit more. And then I'm going to actually take some of those shredded pieces of newspaper and I'm going to start layering them on. There we go. And this just kind of adds to the strength so it doesn't collapse under its own weight. And that paper mache is down just like the paper mache project, of course. I add a couple more pieces of tissue just so I can get it the height and length that I like. Now on to the smaller half that we made to form the jaw. And what I'm doing is just kind of laying pieces of tissue in there and painting them down. And I'll go back and forth till I get both sides done. this side, I'm actually going to gum up an entire tissue and push that all the way to the narrow end. And then I'm just going to paper mache over it normally. And that's going to form a little bump, which is basically the gum line of your shark's jaw. And we'll actually be gluing teeth in behind that. And as you see, I lay tissues all over it, cover it over so it's one piece. Now I'm going to expand the jaw a little bit. I'm just filling in the gum line of the lower jaw, and now I'm going to put a little snout on the top jaw. Just a soaked up piece of tissue paper, and then you just kind of set it right on top, and then lay another tissue over that, paint it down, and do that with a couple of different pieces of tissue. And what I'm doing is I'm going for that long fish or shark-like nose. And next, what we're going to do is make some teeth. And we're going to do that by ripping up some pieces of tissue paper, rolling them tight in our hands, and then soaking them in the paper mache paste. And just let them dry, and they should be firm to the touch. And once you get all the teeth that you want, just go ahead and set them aside and let them dry. And then we'll turn our attention on to fins. And just use that flat piece of cardboard to cut out the shape of the fins, and you can make them as large or as small as you want. Remember, this is your project and you don't have to copy me exactly. Okay, now I've mixed up some pink paint and I'm painting the inside of the jaw. Now this is much time has passed because the jaw pieces have to be dry before you start painting. But I like the pink color. It kind of gives a good gummy or fleshy kind of color. And I'll do the inside of the top jaw the same way. And then while that's drying, I'm just going to take some of the paper clay and I'm going to make little flat discs for eyes. And I'm going to set that aside and let that dry. And then run a bead of hot glue in the dry jaw. And I'm just going to start putting those teeth that we made in. And once I get that tight, I'm going to put the jaws onto the shark body. Then you paint over the jaws with paper mache paste and start laying more tissue down. And what this does is covers the seam, it kind of connects the upper and lower jaw together and creates one cohesive creature. Now, if you want, you can take this moment to kind of widen that snout out a little bit more if you're not happy with it. I thought it looked a little narrow, so I kind of bulked it up a bit. Alright, now to put on the fins. Just a line of hot glue, lay the fin down, then I roll up a piece of tissue paper, soak it in the paste, and cram it in under the fin to kind of make it stick out a little bit. Then you just carefully cover the fins, the cardboard fins, with the tissue paper mache like you did the rest of the bottle. And just go around till you get a thickness that you're happy with. Same on the other side. And it's going to be basically the same with the top thing too. And as you can see, I went back and I added a little bit more around the mouth just to give them a little more weight. Okay, after you glue the top fin down, you want to soak the tissue paper and kind of cram it along the bottom seam on both sides to give it some sturdiness. And then you just again tissue mache over it till you get it about the height and width and you want. And then I go over it with a little more tissue and paper mache paste to hide the seams. And as you can see, I took a piece of red tissue paper and actually crammed it inside. I'm setting that aside to dry, and I actually have a spare shark that's all ready for painting. And again, I've taken some gray paint and I'm just giving him a quick base coat. I I actually meant to have him be the one for the tutorial, but had some camera problems. This certainly was a test of patience. I do love how he came out. That gray is just made up from, of course, black and white. Now, I'm going to mix some black paint and some water to create a wash, and I'm just going to go over the shark. And what this does is that gets inside those low areas and the cracks, and just kind of creates some darkness and depth to them, and works great for shading. And then I go over them again with grays, lighter grays on the bottom. This one's kind of mimicking a great white. And I'm just filling in the areas that I want to pop. Now, I'm going to take some hot glue and just put those eyes on. And on this one, I kind of want to give a little extra something to it. So I'm kind of shaping real quick some eyebrows. So that shape of the eye just to go over. And after that dries, you hit it with some paint. Color in the eyeballs. And then darken up around the eyes so everything matches. And at this point, I'm just kind of touching up the teeth and adding a few highlights. Now I've done the same with our other shark. I've gone with a bright orange, and here comes the wash. Same deal, highlighting the parts that I want to pop by going over it with the orange color again. Once that's done, I take out some white and I just touch up his mouth and underside. And I'll get the back fin too. After that, I'm going to set it down and let it dry out for a little bit. And the next step is add some detail. And I thought I'd try to be funny here and just add some tiger stripes. And lastly, we'll add the eyes. And there we have the wonderful tiger shark. Thanks for watching, everyone. We'll catch you next time.